very early in the morning and I'm on holiday. I'm sneaking out for a few pre-breakfast holes. This is week 1 of the teaching diaries. Okay guys, good morning. This is Southwold Golf Club and I'm just waiting for the sun to come out to play a few holes before breakfast. So I'm on holiday this week, holiday from teaching, but this is going to be following me on my journey and giving me a little bit of a chance to try out some of the camera skills and editing skills that I'm hopefully going to learn along the way before putting them into practice on our regular PJ Life programming. So yes, follow me on my journey and I hope you enjoy.
These are the streets that we walk down. There's nothing left here in this town. The gangs who knock about. Boarded windows, boarded doors. Keep your eyes down to the floor for fear of standing out. Spray paint tags on every wall. Nothing left, no hope at all. May as well admit defeat. Watching children as they grow, it's the only life they'll know. Barely turned 13, but selling drugs on streets. Learn to fight, to be strong. Learn to distance right from wrong. You need to fight just to make it out alive. You need to fight and not give in. It's not a war that you can't win. It's the only way you can survive, is learn to fight. Learn to fight. Sleeping rough under the stars. Empty boxes, burned out cars. Hunger, pain is nothing new. Can't be weak and can't show fear. Put on a mask and persevere. Or tonight.
Right, okay, so the sun's come out a bit more now, so I'm a bit more awake. So I'll give you a little bit more of insight into what this teaching diary is going to be all about. So it's going to be about me obviously continuing my journey as a golf pro, all the things that I do, playing on the course, off the course, coaching wise, learning stuff, but also it's a chance for me to kind of practice my video skills. For example, looking straight into the sun like this is probably not a great idea, although the shadow looks rubbish when I look this way. If I turn this way you can't see me. So all stuff like this that I'm going to have to learn if I want to get better at all this videography type stuff. But just have a look at this background. This is Southwold Golf Club and it is absolutely stunning. So let's get back at it.
Gotta be the baddest so they all know your name, but you can never win. Now the target's on your back. Only way to survive is be the leader of the pack. Drop to your knees, look to the heavens and shout. Stay and end up in a box, I gotta find a way out. It's gonna be the toughest fight you'll ever be in. Finally, it's the bigger picture that you're seeing. It's time to move on, this world is bigger than this town. Gotta get on out before the system gets you down. Making something from your life is easier than it seems.
Right, so that was Southwold Golf Club and it was lovely. Just want to say a big thank you first of all to Andrew and his team for letting me come out and play a few holes this morning. It's always nice if you can slide out during holiday time to get a few sneaky holes in. I thought the course was in great condition, especially after the greens had been cut. It was quite heavy dew this morning. The sun came out and the wind picked up, which is exactly what you want from a seaside course. And what else you do when you're by the seaside? Go crabbing. That's next on the agenda. Let's go.
Another day dawns and I lace up my shoes and I hit to the road. I've got nothing to lose. Well, 24 years and I'm still running. A day won't go by when I don't think of you. Now I'm feeling as worn as the soles in my shoes. But whatever life brings, I'll keep running. My knees grind together, my pacing has slowed, but I think of you every time my foot hits the road. It's been 24 years, but I'm still running. Should I give in and start acting my age and stay in my house like a bird in a cage? Should I throw in the towel, roll over and die, and sit in my armchair and watch the world go by, all alone, or reminisce and accept the fact that you're gone forever and you'll never be back? Or should I just tie up my shoes and keep running? Every step that I take, I wish you were here, holding my hand in this race every year. For 24 years, all alone I've been running. As I run through the city, the views, they are stunning, but my back's given up and my knees, they are done in. It's been 24 years, but I'm still running. Wind in my face makes me feel alive. Well, my body is tired, but I will survive. Every step that I take hurts a little bit more, but thinking of you stops my feet feeling sore. At the end of the day, when I cross the line, I don't look at the clock, I don't care about time. I watch lovers embrace as they make their way home, and I stand at the finish alone, and I just keep running. Years and still some to go. Can I do it much longer? Well, I just don't know. As long as you're here in my heart, I'll keep running.
Right, so that was a lovely holiday, but now 6:15 AM and it is time to get myself back to work. Right, let's go. Straight down the middle, that is straight down the middle. Great shot. It's wheel right for Olbra. That's a great drive as well to cut that off the left bunker. Yeah, it's carried the bunker, we're good. Nathan Overton, second shot. Fairly long iron in hand. Don't think you can reach. It's down the right, some trees. It's pretty much missed everything. That's going to be close, whether that's still in bounds or not. Yeah, that's a good shot. It's going to be left of the green. Yeah, just slide up short. That's perfect. So Nathan's just chipped out. He obviously didn't fancy the shot onto the green. Back fringe for 4, wheels in the bunker 2. It's a great shot. That's a fantastic shot. So Will is there in 3. Nathan's just on the back edge there in 4. How we that then? Will's played the hole really nicely. And Olbra win the Stenson. Okay, so that was the end of the Stenson final. If you didn't see me, I did a little live Facebook of the Stenson final, which was held here at Bury today. Interesting playoff, won by Olbra. So 6 points each after all the foursomes and all the singles. To come down and have a playoff in the final is something pretty special. Will for Olbra hit a lovely drive just right side of the hole, just in the semi, so he's no problem at all. Knocked kind of like a mid iron, like maybe a 6 iron or something into the left green side bunker, and got up and down. Putt was given in the end, So it was a nice easy 4 and a great win for him. Right, so that's the end of a busy day of teaching. Got a little bit wet at the end there, so I had to have a bit of a change of uniform. But yeah, it's been a good Saturday today. So started off with the junior groups this morning, as we do every Saturday morning. And junior 1 group, we worked on speed. So speed versus age. So who could be the pound for pound, the best athlete speed-wise in my junior group? And it was 6-year-old Jacob who came out on top with a score of 12. So we took the ball speed from a driver and then divided it by age. So obviously the older kids were at a bit of a disadvantage, but it was all about who could match their age and speed the best. I then decided to take the juniors down to the first tee so they could have a watch of the Stenson final going off. So Aldeburgh versus Woodbridge, as you guys have just seen, have just finished their match. So we took them down to the tee and so they could watch this Stenson final go off, and it was the foursome. So it was interesting to see the tactics that were going on. Definitely a tendency to go left on the first hole here at Bury, which isn't surprising because there's out of bounds on the right. It's a dog-leg left par 5, and the trees on the left aren't that penal. You probably can't reach the green in 2 from there, but you can certainly get it down and make your par. It's one of those risk and reward holes, the first, so definitely interesting to see them go down the left-hand side. And the juniors learnt so much just from watching, seeing how everybody goes about their business, watching the pre-shot routines, seeing how they got on with it. We then had my junior 2 group on a Saturday morning, which is the beginners group. Now often that group is led by who turns up and what they want to bring. This week we had a new lad, Thomas, who's had a brand new pitching wedge this week, so kind of like a present going back to school from his parents. So we decided to do pitching, so over obstacles and then a lot of slope work. So it's interesting to watch them, how they develop the low point in their swing and how they develop the follow through to try and gauge speed and distance, and then also how they coped with the different slopes that we've got around our practice area. So yeah, after my junior groups I then had another one-to-one lesson with a slightly older junior who'd been working really hard through the summer holidays on his path and face contact, kind of the things that we do generally through all of my lessons, and he's very responsive to the GC2 information that's presented, and he's a mathematician at school, so he knows the numbers and he can kind of digest it all. So we talk quite in depth about the data for someone of his age. But we were working today on the lie angle, dynamic lie. He was very much presenting about 8 degrees toe down, so complaining about lots of thin shots when he couldn't ground the centre of the club, and most of his strikes, his good strikes, were coming out of the toe. So we worked on lowering that number, trying to play with getting it the other way, so it was toe up, and as soon as he felt like he was more extreme this way, the sole started to come through nice and clean, nice and level, and we started to get some really nice draw patterns going on. So next in line was a short game lesson with one of our senior members, and it was again a very interesting session. So we went up to our short game area and he was asking lots of questions about ball position, wrist angles, how much loft he needs to present. He'd obviously got a lot of information from his playing partners and other sources to try and help him out, which was great, but they weren't all necessarily relevant to him. And all he was doing, very, very simply, was standing far too far away from the ball, making the club come through at this angle here, so toe up in the air. He then couldn't find the middle of the club. There was no loft here, and there was no way he could get correct turf interaction, so he was trying to have to use different manipulations to try and solve it. Get him standing too close to the ball. Use the old Martin and Chuck analogy. You can never stand too close to a pitch shot, so thank you, Martin. I definitely use that quite a lot. He got himself stood much, much closer, so the club again was flat on the ground, which meant he could rotate better. We could talk about how to deliver different angles if we wanted different lofts and different swing lengths for different distance. Suddenly had much more control over the strike, which then allowed him to have more control over the swing. I see it very, very regularly. People that stand too far away from the ball to a pitch shot, they almost set up as if they're hitting a full sandwich. Obviously it's got to be a different type of shot. We're not using our big muscles as much for power in a pitch shot, so we can stand much closer, much narrower stance and allow the feeling of the same kind of speed but not as much power going into the ball. So interesting concepts there for him, and again hopefully something you can go away and practice and get better. So speaking of practice, this is my book at the moment. I always have a book on the go. Practice Manual by Adam Young. As you can see, I haven't got too far into it, so it's still early days for this book, but it's amazing so far. I definitely recommend this so far. I'm going to do a full book review once I finished reading and digested it all, but so far definitely information that any golfer could digest, use and make themselves better. So I hope you guys enjoyed that teaching diary. Bit of a strange one this week, obviously being on holiday, not quite so much coaching content. There'll be much more coaching content to come in the next few weeks as we get back into the coaching swing of things, for the want of a better saying, obviously. But yes, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our PJ Life channel, please do that. There'll be a circle in the middle of the screen in a second. That'll get you all of our content whenever we release it. Obviously, we're doing 4 regular shows a week with Adam and I. And then obviously my teaching diary is going to be also coming, hopefully on a Sunday, potentially on a Saturday. Not quite sure exactly how that's going to come out each week, but if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get a notification as soon as that posts, so you can see it straight away. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you soon.